in my opinion, people stay poor, or they stay in that space of never really having enough of what they need. It's because they are unwilling to have an open mind. They're not willing to learn something new, or they're not willing to unlearn an old behavior or pattern or action they used to take. And they're also not really all that willing to relearn. So if you want to remain poor, or without, or not having enough, then be that person who's not willing to learn, who's not willing to unlearn, and who is not willing to relearn. And if you want to be wealthy, then do all those things. Be a person who's open-minded. And I say that because I'm going to be sharing with you some really mind-shifting things. And so I need you to be willing to expand your mind and to open it in such a way that you can be that person that steps into the wealth-building population. Now, if you've heard these tidbits before, then awesome. Still open your ears. I want you to hear them again, because after all, repetition is powerful. And if these are all brand new concepts to you, then you might just get your mind blown. Do you realize that about 3% of the entire population is earning over 97% of the income? Now, I know what you might be thinking. You're like, that's not fair. And I agree with you. It's not fair. And I also have the question like, okay, but how do I become that 3%, right? Well, it's not that these individuals are necessarily any smarter than us or have a better education or live in a better location. It's because they are doing a certain thing in a certain way. In fact, they're actually living and operating by a universal law. Now, whether they know that or not, I don't know, but hey, it's working for them, so we better get caught up into speed and figure it out, right? Well, here's the thing. Our income is actually the harvest of our production. And I guess maybe another way of saying that is we reap what we sow, or we deserve what we serve. I like that one. Money is actually just a yardstick. It's just a yardstick that's measuring the quality and the quantity of the service that you're rendering. So if you're somebody who is delivering more service, you're going to receive more pay. Now, do not get this twisted. This does not mean that you need to go out and you need to work harder to earn more money. No, my friend. But we'll get to all of that in just a second. Now, think about this for a second. There are really, really bright people out there earning a ton of money, right? And then there's also a lot of ignorant people out there and illiterate people who are also earning a lot of money. And there are also very highly educated individuals who are constantly broke and barely making ends meet. And they're not earning enough money. And then there's also really, really dumb people who still aren't making bank. So what's the deal? And why and how does this even happen? Well, that's exactly what I want to talk about. Now, you can become one of these wealthy people if you keep listening. What we have to understand is that our earning of money, it doesn't happen by accident. Our increase in our ability to earn more, it's not an accident. It's not getting some big lucky break or winning the lottery. No. In fact, you can become one of these elite few who are uber wealthy by doing this one simple thing. Are you listening? Lean in closely. This is a nugget. It's by creating multiple sources of income. Yes, I said multiple. Now, if you do this, if you do what I'm sharing with you, this could radically improve your life in a big, awesome way. Now, we know that there are these laws that govern the universe. For instance, gravity. We know that if I drop this lipstick, it's going to fall into my hand, right? Because of gravity. We know this. There are these laws. There's no denying it. There's also this law called the law of compensation, which clearly states that the exact amount of money that you earn is in direct proportion or ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do what you do, and the difficulty to replace you. Now, when you find a tremendous need and your ability to fill it, you must become the absolute best at being you. Now, there's no such thing as an indispensable person. We all know that, right? But I can guarantee that if you get really good at this thing, you will become a very, very wealthy person. Now, that's where income comes from. That's where it comes from. Find someone Anybody who has mastered a craft, like they are the master of their craft, and they earn so much more money, they are extremely fortunate. Just think of somebody, just anybody, Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, maybe your favorite actor or actress, your favorite musician or rapper. So the key to success is to become a master at what you're doing. This is the focus. The money is the effect. So you see, when you take care of the cause, the money will come. It always comes. It takes care of itself. Now, let's look at it this way. We're going to talk about multiple sources of income. So what you do is you start right where you are, and you start setting up multiple streams of income, just doing one thing at a time. You take a look at where you are, and then you think about, well, how could I set up another source? And so your first question probably is, well, yeah, Molly, how? How, you ask, right? Well, for right now, do not worry about all the nitty-gritties in the house just yet. We'll get to that. But what I want you to focus on is I just want you to focus on starting one, then another, then another, then another, then another, and then you'll just have a few streams of income, and that will soon turn into a raging river of wealth. And before you know it, your whole life will transform. Now, I know I'm making it sound really easy, but it really kind of is. And it just simply starts by getting started. I mean, I started by creating first my health programs, right, for my clients. Then I created an e-course, and I created an e-audio course, and then I created a webinar and a PDF. And then I'm working on publishing my first children's book. I mean, it's just you do one thing after another after another. Now, as you set these things up, I do want you to know that not all of them will succeed in the same way or net you the same type of profit. No, they won't. In fact, there's going to be some of them that will grow so fast and you'll be reaping a harvest like that. There's others that'll be a little bit slower, only make you just like a little bit of money. And then there are some that actually just might die. But that's just kind of the name of the game. It's like, I grew up in the Midwest, and so it's kind of like when you have your seeds and it comes harvest time, like you have to go and you have to plant it in fertile soil. And in my opinion, there's no fertiler soil, I don't know if I said that right, than you planting your seeds, in this case, your hard-earned money, planting them into you, into your ability to refine and to master that thing that only you can do, which, hello, is being you. The cool thing about all of these streams of income, though, big or small, is that they will all flow right into your bank account. See, when you really stop and think about it, there's only 3 real money strategies. Now, we started by saying that only 3% of people earn 97% of the money, and unless you're one of those 3% already, the odds of your children actually creating a life wealthier than what you're experiencing now, well, unfortunately, they're pretty slim. So if you really want to create a better life, not only for yourself, but for your future generations to come, the best thing that you can do is to learn how to create multiple streams of income with passive residual income and implement that learning right now. Because if you don't teach your kids, they're probably not going to learn this anywhere else. In fact, in all of my years of schooling, my master's degree, all of my time working as a financial advisor, nobody actually taught me the secret to building true wealth. And so it's not being talked about, and it's not being taught in our schools, which is setting up those multiple streams of income. Now, the way most people earn their money is through M1. And M1, it's really used by 96 people out of every 100. And this is just where you go and you trade your time for money, whether that's a steady 9-to-5 gig or something else. But you're literally trading your time for dollars. Now, we all get the same amount of time in a day. So it really comes down to what we do with that time, how we leverage that time. The concept of work hard, save hard, that's got to go. What we're doing here is we're trading our life for money. And then in the end, we end up squirreling away maybe a little bit to save for a rainy day. And then guess what? That rainy day always comes again and again and again and again, unless we break that chain, unless we break that paradigm, that behavior, that action, right? We dig up those bad roots. When we trade our time for money, we end up not buying the car that we want or the house that we want or taking those luxury vacations that we dream about. No, we continue to allow ourselves to operate in this limited mindset, and we go into a store and we pick out something we like, and then the first thing we do is we look at the price tag and we go, And our body clenches up, right? And that fear mode, it's our ego mode saying like, that's too expensive, I can't afford that. Do you know how many hours I have to work to pay that off? Now, don't get me wrong, I've had those same feelings and thoughts until I started adopting this new mindset, this new money mindset. And I want to invite you to start doing the same, because M1, that's where the broke people hang out. And you're not broke. You are wealthy. You're abundant. You're going to be an M3 operator, someone that knows how to generate and create multiple streams of income. Now, there's another level in between 1 and 3. There's M2. And this is used by about 3% of the population. And this is where you actually trade your money for money. So you store up some money and then you go and you invest it into something. And this can be really good or this can be really bad. It really depends on how wise of an investor you are. But there are some people out there making wealth by trading money for money. So it's not impossible, but it is a very refined skill that you must have, and a very small percentage of people are actually doing it. And the one percenters, guess which level they're doing? M1, M2, or M3? Yeah, they're doing M3. They multiply their time by setting up multiple streams of income. If you can get good at this, really good at this, you can win big, 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 big. Really, the sky's the limit on your earning potential. Now, that is what the income amplifier is all about. It's about taking you from your idea and turning it into passive residual income by creating a digital product. This is what I specialize in teaching. This is what I'm so passionate about, because this is the secret to building true wealth. So I'm here to help you create true wealth by, first and foremost, identifying your monetizable areas of expertise and turning it into multiple streams of income. But a quick word of warning, I do want you to know when you first start out, it might feel a little overwhelming, because just like anytime you learn something new, there is always a learning curve, right? But when you decide that you're going to take back your power to open your mind to a new way of opportunity, a new way of operating, a new way of thinking and doing and being and having, and you are going to choose, you're going to decide to invest in the most fertile soil you possibly could, which is you are going to increase your personal value and your personal worth and, of course, your income. When you spend your time focused on finding that need for that thing that only you can do, and you do the absolute best to your ability that you can do, and you constantly go back and reinvest in yourself to master that skill and become a person that becomes very difficult to replace, you become unstoppable. First, you have to decide, yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out. No matter what it takes, I'm gonna figure out how to create smart passive residual income and setting up multiple streams of income for me and for my family. Just imagine in a few months from now, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year from now, I don't know. But imagine that you learn this skill set. You learn how to set up these multiple streams of income. How wonderful will that be? And how could that money increase your livelihood, your vitality, your creative being, and how you could funnel that seed money into a bigger vision for yourself? Just imagine how free and liberated you would feel if you had the ability, all in your own knowledge and expertise, to be able to finally walk away from that thing that you hate doing. Doesn't it feel good? Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Molly-Ann, this is a pretty simple concept to understand, but how do we implement it? I want you to understand that this is just one process, and that it's gotten a whole lot simpler and really basic and direct in the last few months. Right now it might look complicated, but just like anything when you're starting out, if you're given the step-by-step, step 1, step 2, step 3, you can accomplish it, right? Yeah, you can. But I want to tell you that it's not just about having the steps. It's about having the steps in the right order, and also having someone there to tell you, here is step 1, and this is how you do it. Now, that's why I think I'm such a good teacher, because before I got into this, I had no clue how any of this worked. And I definitely didn't have anybody giving me this blueprint, this step-by-step guide. And there were all these steps involved, and I had to sift and sort it, and I had to put it into a way that actually made sense. And now it's simple. It's so simple that anybody can do it if they just follow the steps. If you just have the steps and the willingness to give it a go, you will succeed. In the last few months, things in the digital world have really gotten different. Different, I mean faster. There is an opportunity right now that's never happened ever before. And I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know how long we'll have access to these type of tools as just starting out entrepreneurs without having to pay a high cost or having to follow certain parameters. So it's a really special time. I know you know this to be true because I just think about recently you probably logged into Facebook and everything was all shuffled around. The truth is the digital landscape is constantly changing. There's new platforms, there's new tech tools, new changes, new to Instagram, to Snapchat, to YouTube, to Facebook, to all the things, right? But right now, you have to take advantage of this time because it's just too good not to. And it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity that not a lot of people are necessarily taking advantage of in the right way. There's an opportunity to have a direct line of sales. No more having to focus on building up your email list first or your followers first. Now you can actually start increasing your social media followers, building your email list, and earning a profit while building your business and still kind of figuring out what it is you want to offer all at the same time. This is the mega boost. It's so exciting because like so many people, we need to make money now, especially if you're just starting out. Like you need to make money now. You don't have the time to be wasting away and waiting for that perfect list to be built or that perfect idea to come to you. Like, no, you've got bills to pay. You've got dreams. Like you need to be able to fund it now. And now you can. You have the opportunity to boost your bank account and start funding your bigger dream. So let me show you instead exactly how this works. Are you ready to build true wealth for both yourself and your future generations to come? If so, I'd like to invite you to become a legacy leader by joining us inside of the Legacy Leaders community. This is the place to connect with heart-centered self-starters like yourself who are striving to master their minds and build a legacy. It's a place to let go of generational and cultural beliefs that have been holding you back. It's a place to reclaim your creative power, become your own boss, and build that profitable and portable business you've always dreamed of. Come create lifestyle and financial freedom with us inside of the Legacy Leaders community so that you too can live and leave your legacy.